I couldn't decide whether I wanted to be, after college, an investigative journalist or public interest lawyer. I wanted to make a difference in society. I think all of us, want to make a difference. We want the world to be a better place because we were here. And sometimes that gets overshadowed by other priorities, but it's part of everybody. And for me, I think I may have cancer of the do-gooder gene or something. Um, I thought about it. Investigative journalists is very exciting, but they're on the sidelines. They're just reporting things. I wanted to be able to fight back. And public interest lawyers, in order to really have much impact, you have to become a real expert in a narrow topic. And I thought it might get a little boring after a while to be one of the world's top experts on, smokestack emissions from coal-fired plants, the sulfur dioxide levels. So when I went to the whistleblower conference at the Institute for Policy Studies, I realized that I could be a public interest lawyer fighting back on behalf of whistleblowers, and it wouldn't be limited to one particular narrow subject area. Um, Everywhere where there's power, it's liable to be abused. And I'd be able to help people fight back on abuses of power and anything that really moved me, which at the time was nuclear power. I wanted to fight nuclear power plants. And whistleblowing offered that opportunity. So I've been able to work fighting nuclear power plants that were accidents waiting to happen, stopping deregulation of meat and poultry inspection, turning it into corporate honor systems for government-approved food, um, representing all the domestic surveillance whistleblowers from the phone companies to Edward Snowden, national security whistleblowers who helped stop a more ambitious rerun of 9/11 when the government was going AWOL, who got delivery of mine-resistant vehicles that would actually protect our troops in Afghanistan and Iraq, lowering the casualties from landmines from 60% to 5%. Um, we got toxic incinerators shut down that were officially, on paper, saying they were only burning safe materials. And actually, they were burning dioxin, lead, arsenic, heavy metals, and the worst, most poisonous chemicals in society, in minority neighborhoods, next to churches and schoolyards, in ghetto areas in the South. We got those shut down. You know, it's, wherever there is power, sooner or later, it's probably going to be abused. And working in Government Accountability Project, I've been able to fight back on anything that really moved me, that upset me. Currently, we're investigating how EPA has covered up the, the chemical contamination after the East Palestine Railroad spill in February 2023. EPA basically pulled a Pontius Pilate, just got out of the way and let Norfolk Southern, the railroad, burn 5 railroad cars with 100 carcinogenic chemicals in them. So they get their trains on the tracks back running again faster. A safe cleanup would have cost weeks. By burning them, they can get the trains running in 2 days. But by burning them, they turn huge quantities of vinyl oxide into dioxin. That's what it becomes when you burn vinyl oxide. And it created plumes of dioxin that smothered the town of East Palestine. And dioxin, that was what was in Agent Orange in Vietnam. We're poisoning our own communities here, and the government was covering it up. And we've been taking a people's record of that. We did the same thing after Deepwater Horizon in New Orleans, because the BP, the oil company, used a quote dispersant to break up the oil. It didn't break up the oil. It fused with it and it went to the bottom of the ocean, and killed all the sea life in that area in the Gulf, and created a new compound that was 50 times more toxic than the original oil. And the oil company and the Coast Guard and the EPA have been spraying this like DDT on all the cleanup workers after the oil spill. Horrible, awful. awful public health impacts, nightmarish. People losing all their hair, all their teeth, having lesions coming out of their eyes and all over their bodies, sexual dysfunction, migraines that wouldn't ever go. Um, Being hyper allergic to food that they couldn't keep any food down and would lose 30 to 50 pounds. IQ loss of 30 to 40 points IQ loss from the brain damage. Just horrible, awful, nightmarish things that our government was covering up. Um, and we were able to get that dispersant removed from the market. The company, the scandals and the controversy was so bad that the company stopped making it. Um, you know, freedom of speech, that's the foundation for fighting back against anything which is betraying the public, getting the truth out. And working with whistleblowers, you get a chance to do that. So that's why it's been so wonderful for me to be part of that.